Hey CEOs, many of you ask me if you should become a coach, and I want to thoroughly answer that question. The first thing that I would say about becoming a coach is that you have to be very comfortable getting very intimate with other people's business. I remember telling a client this who wanted me to help her. She was totally switching her business from what she was in to becoming a coach. She was one of the ones where I said, wow, I could really take a person from scratch and turn them into a coach. She said, Christy, I know I've been doing X, turn me into a coach. I said, okay. One of the things that she kind of realized early on after becoming a coach, she had been a coach maybe about 3 months and she was starting to have successes. But she came to session with me because I'm still her coach. And she said, Christy, I really don't want to know this much personal information about other people. And I thought that was really interesting because I knew a lot of her personal information. But for her, that intimate side of coaching, she wasn't comfortable with. So when I gently reminded her, like, hey, I know about this going on with you, I know about that going on with you. So coaching can be quite intimate, especially depending on the type of clients that you want to coach. If you're life coaching or if you're coaching a lot of women. I am a business coach, but I coach mostly women. A lot of times women, they bring their whole life to session. If something is going on with their child, if something is going on with their partner or with their mate, they bring that to session. So if you are a person who is uncomfortable with intimate conversations or knowing all kinds of other things, non-business related, which you will have to reel them in, coaching may or may not be for you. It is something to consider. Another thing that I want you to think about is, are you a good communicator? Okay. Your communication skills are one of the most important skills that you need to have as a coach. You are basically taking sometimes complex strategies or complex lessons, and you're breaking them down in a way where your client can understand, and not just understand, but understand and be able to use the information, which is very important. So you want to think about, can I communicate? And let me add something to that. You want to think about, can you communicate in a stressful environment? Sometimes your client is having a problem and it is not smooth. They are frustrated. It is causing them money. It could be causing them a lot of stress. And so they're frustrated. They're bringing the problem to you in a very frustrated state. So you have to be able to communicate a strategy, a lesson, an action plan to them while they're frustrated and possibly have frustrated you. So you have to be a person who can communicate even in stressful situations, even when you might be feeling overwhelmed or your client feels overwhelmed. Another thing I want you to think about is, are you in it to win it? Are you coaching and you're coaching in a way where you can be fully comfortable with being attached to the strategies that you give your client? I think a lot of people feel like they would be a great coach because they give excellent drive-by advice, that they have no attachment to the results. Like, hey, I'm good at dumping advice on people. It works, it doesn't work, and I can move on with my life. That isn't coaching. If that's what you've been doing and you're thinking that that's why you should go into coaching, I want you to rethink this, because your long-term reputation as a coach is very much attached to the success of your advice to your clients. So you can't just pop in, dump some advice on them, be out, and then it's like the results are what they are. Are they even held accountable? Right? So you want to make sure that you are a person who is honing in on your skills so that you can have a long reputation and potentially a long career as a coach, and you're not just dumping advice on them, haphazardly. Another thing to think about is if you're a structured person, because a lot of people hire coaches for the accountability piece. How are you going to hold someone else accountable if you're a person who doesn't have structure in your own life. You're supposed to remind them of X, Y, and Z. You're supposed to make sure that they do their content every week. You're supposed to make sure that they send their check-in photos and videos with you every week. How do you do that if you yourself are not a structured person? So this is something that you want to think of as well. You want to think about if you have energy to lend to other people. I have learned after coaching for 14 years that I really have to prepare myself for my coaching clients and my coaching sessions, because I have to have my energy together. Sometimes I have to let them borrow that energy. They have come to me, they're downtrodden, the life has been sucked out of them. They need to feel empowered first about their skill set, and then they need to be given strategy. And sometimes that can suck a lot of energy out of you. So you want to think about, am I a person who has energy to give? The last thing that I would say to think about if you're considering becoming a coach is, do you have some skills that you can give or teach to your client that are repeatable? You have repeatable results. Repeatable is the key word. We've all seen the hairstylists that can only do their hair. We've all seen the makeup artists that can beat their face down. They cannot duplicate that on another person. They cannot do the same thing and get the same results with another person. And then on top of that, they can't get those results over and over. So you want to make sure that you have a skill set that you can repeat from client to client to client. You can take into account any of their shortcomings or skills gaps, help them fill those skills gaps, and still get the results that you are selling that you can get. So anyway, I hope that this helps when you are considering if you're going to become a coach. I know it is the end of 2024. A lot of you are thinking about launching that coaching business in 2025, but I hope that this helps. And I'm Christy Muhammad. I've been coaching for 14 years. I've been in business for 21 years. I own Women's CEO Project, and I coach women to build 6- and 7-figure coaching business from scratch. I can take a person from very beginning idea phase and take them on up to building a coaching business. I can also take a person who is right in the middle and help them build up. And I can also take an advanced person and help them refine and monetize more. So I hope this helps, and good luck in 2025 with building your coaching business.